See how you, if you want to buy or something, see the price now is low, so you buy more. Price is. Yes, we said that EOQ is when people go and buy at a cheaper price in quantities. For example, now as we're talking, people are in the field. Most of them are having scale for them to be weighing, let's say, products that they want to come and sell later. So EOQ is indeed another way of controlling inventory. As we have just said on just in time, somebody mentioned, Khadija, said that just in time there are no wastes. It means when you are buying material, you are buying for the products that are wanted by a customer. So that is indeed one way of controlling inventory. Loveness, you said you didn't know. I am surprised. Then why did you not say it? Thank you. How about the reorder level? How can it be for controlling inventory? Reorder level. Reorder level is there where we had something like that, isn't it? Something like that, like that. So where we had maximum, minimum, then reorder level, isn't it? Good. Why or how can we say that this method is for controlling of inventory? I remember I gave an example of our mom, Simafrau. Yes. Even yourself, as you are staying alone, or you can think about that. How does this method control inventory? You should be speaking up, because as we're speaking, it means our friends online will gain the same knowledge that we are having. Reorder level, it being a control of inventory. It gives space for other goods to be facing other views. Okay, Banda, maybe you can tell us.
It helps in preventing wastage of materials, but where you know when it's maximum, you know that you can order more. But when the materials go down to a minimum level, that's when you know that you have space for ordering other materials.
Okay. So why is the reorder level a control system? It is a control system. Why? When it is at maximum, it means you don't have any containers to put your materials, or no warehouses. It means all warehouses are full. Okay? But I should correct him a bit. When we are at, this is the maximum, is it? Maximum, and this is the minimum. But reorder level is between the maximum and the minimum. Why? It shouldn't drop to this level, because to us, or to our book, says this is the buffer stock or buffer material that we should not exceed there. We can exceed if only maybe deliveries have been delayed, as we saw a certain delivery delayed in our book. You remember that? You remember that, Khadija? Yes. So we are saying that when we are talking about maximum, it means the spaces are not there again. For example, if our mother has got a bucket where she keeps flour for our nsima, it means the bucket is full. She cannot have another flour grinded. So we are saying that this is indeed another way of controlling inventory, because when it is full, you cannot. And you know that when it is going below to minimum, that's when you are supposed to order. So it means you know the levels of the inventory that is needed. So this is another good method of controlling inventory. How about the two bin? The two bin. We have got two papers where you are showing that this is how we entered the inventory and this is the outflow, in and out. So this is the way of the two bin that we learned last time. So how can this be a control of inventory? How can it be a control of inventory? Loveness now. Linda, assist her. I got your assignment, is it? Good. Who else has sent? Lavu, and even, oh, yeah. Khadija, you have not. Please do. Banda?
Yes, I'm done with it.
Okay, you are supposed to send it, is it? Yeah, so that I should put it on the schedule. I don't know when the portal, is it the portal open now?
There is another question. Online question. What control system maybe it's assignment for last semester.
It should be, because I've not uploaded any assignments so far. The assignments I gave you are the ones that you are supposed to work on. If I will have access, because I don't have internet, I didn't have internet at home. Why? My dongle was taken by my son. So if he comes, then I will upload the assignments. But it's the same, you are the same people that are having even the online on our forums. So I will do that, but even some edited maybe notes that we're learning. So the two bin, that's where we are. Linda is now assisting Love. Maybe Love, you can say now. Who can come up with the two bin system of it being a control of inventory?
Yes. Knowing the flow of things
Yes,
and know what is in stock.
exactly. You will know that this is how much we have. And it's very easy to know that we are about to buy or we are about to take, because we're about to reorder, because you are going to see the outflow, the balances. Okay? It's a control of inventory. And you know that how many have been taken out. So as a result, it's a control of inventory. Even yourself, you can be doing the same. Okay? You know that maybe I've got 5 ballpoints that I'm using as I'm at school. Then you take about 3 of them, one is remaining, you say, hey, I should go and buy another one, because you have got 2 pages where you say that this is for the inflow and this is for the outflow. So it is really another way of controlling inventory. If a question comes on EOQ, can you fill for that example that we gave in? EOQ, EOQ, we had a certain example, isn't it? If it comes on an exam, can you fail? Linda, you have not answered? You remember it? You don't remember? You don't go back to your notes. What did you write on your notes? So EOQ to you is something new? You don't know it? You don't know? When we were learning about the economic order quantity, was Linda not available? Be reading your notes, man. If you go out of class, be going over. Love, do you remember the EOQ? And even the example we gave, how about Khadija? Banda? Austin? Linda, you don't remember? Please assist her. I will not assist because we are going behind. We are supposed to finish the course outline. I remember to have given an example to say people are now in the field buying products that they want to come and sell in the future. Yes, so why are you forgetting the EOQ that is very common and that's why I'm saying all these are normal things that we interact in our everyday life. That is what people are doing now. This is a two bin, okay? The two bin is the same. Other people in the kitchen, they will put, today we're going to be eating sima with chicken. Today, sima with chambo. The other day, rice with minced meat. That is what they do. And they buy the relish and put them in the fridge. 5 for the month. It means they're going to be saying, now we have only one remaining, mom, and yet the month is not yet over because in them they have a two bill where they're going to be saying, this is the content we have and we took this. Okay? Yes. The other one, mom, we ate on Tuesday. Instead of Monday, we ate on Tuesday, and the other one we ate on Thursday. That's why we have a balance of this. So this is exactly what happens there. And then just in time, we said, mostly it's done by Japanese. When they want to make a car, I gave an example of somebody that exactly. That is what we are saying, that it is one way of controlling inventory because you don't have any waste. No need of warehousing to say we have got material where we're going to put some stock. We don't. So it means this is really a control of inventory. That one, I even reminded you of the graph that we had. Somebody is going to know that we have full of them, that no need of buying. Okay, we're towards the minimum, therefore we're supposed to reorder. That's why the name is reorder level, where we're going to have the level that we're supposed to rebuy, okay, or replenish our stock. So this is these are some of the methods of controlling of inventory. Inventory, the other word of inventory is what? Stock. The other one? Come again? Material. Good. So these are some of the things that we have to know when we are talking about inventory. So we had an example of reorder level, maximum and minimum levels, is it? So I said, please, can you go and try these others? Did you? Did you try? You didn't? You didn't try let's say, finding the maximum level? They are there because the first part of which was difficult was already found, which was 3,900 units. So you just have to continue with that. So I'm giving you another assignment, that is that one, that you are supposed to go and try, okay? Try. Let me give you which ones you should try and then come up with an answer. If you fail, you are going to tell me that we cannot. But there are cheap things that you cannot fail. What page was that? Minimum and the maximum levels? Reorder level. The page on reorder level. 30, good. 30, that's the page that we just want to see how we have the examples that were given. We had the first one, go and try the second one, okay? The answer is there below, okay? But try how to find that one. If you fail, come and tell me so that we should go over that. Is it fine? Page 31. Page 31. So try that one and then come up with the answer. If you happen to fail, let us do the example together. Or else if somebody knows how it's done, then you can assist each other because of time. We're supposed to be going ahead with our course outline. So that's the revision that we had last time. And maybe before we go to the new topic, what did we say are the advantages of just in time? Speak up because our friends online have to understand also. Wastage, avoiding of wastage. The other one? Come again? Customer satisfaction, good. The other one? Yes, lower stock holding. The other one? Avoiding delays, good. How about disadvantages? Those are just some of them. Disadvantages of just in time. Disadvantages. So it's very good that it doesn't have a disadvantage, is it? It does. Okay. Is what? Yes, it's prone to delays. Once a certain process has delayed, it means the whole has delayed. So there can be no satisfaction of a customer because you say sorry. The other disadvantage? Wastage of material. If customers cannot come and pick their products. Sometimes we can say we can't have waste as we're producing, but it's very rare in the world that you can't have a waste, is it? That's how our book specifies. Thank you so much. And that was what we were revising on the accounting and control of material. Then today we have to start another topic on accounting for and control of labor. A new topic now is accounting for and control of Labor. Labor. What is labor? Come again? Workers? Labor? Good. Love? What? Effort? Uh-huh.
Physical, mental effort.
Yes, physical or mental effort. Good. Uh-huh. Justin? Come again? You are on the phone. That's why I was asking you. Sometimes I do that because I want to test whether you are in class or you're on WhatsApp. Okay, so because now, before you had gone into the book, we just wanted to have normal understanding of labor. Okay, so we want to know how to account and control for labor. Us as cost and management accountants, we have also to understand that how are we going to account for labor and as well as the control of them. So in the normal way, we can say labor cost is the second very important element in any organization. We talked about material that we started. And now we want to talk about labor. Mind you, when we were starting with the cost, we talked about three things. Is it? What are they? Come again? We talked about three things in connection of costs. Costs. We talked about material, isn't it? You cannot cost when there's no material, man. Isn't it? Yes. And then the next one we said what? Labor. So this is the second thing that we are supposed to talk about. Because you cannot cost when there are no those things. Isn't it? Yes, you cannot. How are you going to cost? Because when we are talking about anything that you can see as a product, it means in the first instance, there was material. The second, labor was involved. So what we want to understand is labor now, because as according to what we learned in connection of cost, labor is the second element very important in any organization when we are talking about cost. You get the point? Austin? Lavo, is it fine? Yes, even yourself. There's that phone. The phone you have, what you can see is material. Okay? But it's something was involved in for it to be made, and labor was connected. So we are supposed to know that the second element for any company after material is labor. So this is very important. And once labor is more, profits are reduced, isn't it? In the normal thinking, is it? When we are saying, for example, we are saying that we are, let's say, making tomato sauce, okay? We have bought, let's say, tomatoes worth 30,000. Okay? Well, bought tomatoes worth 30,000. And then we want to make tomato sauce. The labor is 40,000. Are we going to make profit? No, we're not. So what they're explaining to us is that once labor has a big amount, always it means profit is going to be reduced. Isn't it? Yes, in normal thinking. So that is what they are saying in our book in connection of labor. So therefore, labor cost is the second major concern of management. Labor is something that every company, every management in a company are concerned, because they have to be thinking of always how to reduce the labor for them to be making more profits. Because every organization thinks about even making profit. Despite we have non-profit making organizations, if we go deep down, we are going to see that they still want something on top. So what we want to say is that it is very important for us as cost and management accountants that sometimes we can be involved in a company that is a manufacturing company, where we can use material as well as labor. So we have to know how we should account for them as well as control for them. So labor is always engaged with the personnel department. We, as cost and management accountant, we are not directly involved with the labor, but it's involved in the personnel department. Personnel department. Why so involved? Because they are the ones that they are employers. And not only that, they are concerned with the salaries of people. Why? Because they are going to know that Khadija's qualifications are this, Banda's qualifications are this. Therefore, the salaries cannot be the same. You have come here, you want to have degrees whereby other people are going to be having masters in the organization. So you can't have the same salaries. The people that know this are the personnel, because they are the ones that employ people and they know who is supposed to get how much. So when we're talking of labor, yes, we are involved because we are going to make calculations, but the whole thing is done by the people in the personnel. So what can be the light definition for us to understand labor when we are talking about cost and management accounting? So the definition goes like this. Labor is a physical or mental effort. Labor is a physical or mental effort they normally write that in the book, sometimes with a U, but it's the same. Okay. Labor is a physical or mental effort expended in manufacturing a product or a service. Labor is the physical or mental effort expended in manufacturing a product or a service, where labor cost is the price paid for using human resource. Where labor cost is the price paid for using human resource. Again, there can be a compensation paid to employees. A compensation paid to employees who engage in production-related activities represents factory labor costs. What are they saying? Mind you, when we're talking about manufacturing companies, people maybe are involved in using machines when they are manufacturing. Can you give me a company that uses machines when they are manufacturing? Come again? Toyota, good. Constructions. They manufacture what? Cement. Yes, they use machines. Quale machines are involved. Bricks, this time you have seen machines making bricks, isn't it? There's so many companies that use machines. So those machines are operated by human. So as a result, something can go wrong. It's natural. And it's very common. Today when I was coming to teach, um, uh, I was behind a vehicle, just that we were supposed to join the main road. So my friend underestimated the car which was coming from the where we were going, the right hand. So he just did that, then this other car hit him. Okay. I've remembered this because of machines. Okay. So anything can happen as you are using a machine. That's where they are saying maybe sometimes you can have an accident, then you are supposed to be given labor costs, which is for compensation. That's what they are explaining more about labor in our book. So we should not get surprised when they are talking about the compensation paid to, let's say, some employees who may be engaged in production-related activities where something can happen. That's what they want to explain to us about the labor costs. So that's the definition of labor. So we want to see the costs that are involved in labor. The costs involved in labor. We talked about costs involved in material, but now we want to know the costs involved in labor. When we're talking about labor, we are supposed to think about, let's say, wages paid to people that are employed. So we should also think about the wages. What are wages? Wages. What are wages? Payments to the laborers. So payments to the laborers, which we can always talk about them maybe being paid hourly or daily or something to do with piecework. These are wages, okay? Piecework, which these are wages. So these are the costs that are involved when we're talking about labor. How about the other one? The other one is salaries. What are salaries? What are salaries? Monthly payments. For employees. Employees. Monthly payments for employees. And these are fixed. There's no way you can say this month for somebody who has got a salary, you are paid 200,000. The other month, you are paid 300,000. Then that's not a salary, that's a wage. Wages changes based on how many hours you have worked. While salaries, they're fixed, isn't it? Yes, they're fixed. It's just unfortunate that some of you are children of your parents, and then you expect them to give you more than what they gave you last month, expecting that they change their salaries. They are not. They're fixed. They're the same. Okay. So we are supposed to talk about the two. Sometimes these two words can be used interchangeably. People can say wages for those that are getting salaries. So that also can happen. So don't get surprised. So this is what we wanted to understand the costs that are included in labor. Then now we have to understand the direct and indirect labor costs. Direct and indirect labor costs. And this is in our course outline, a subtopic. Direct and indirect labor. We start with direct. Maybe before we go there, we just have to go back to material. We learned already about material. What are direct material? What are direct material? We just have to be reminded of ourselves on what we had already learned. What are direct material?
It's material that are going to be used to what to make some.
Okay, thank you. Other one? Direct material?
That you are using the product and they can see there.
Good. They can be seen on a product, isn't it? For example, your phone, okay, has got direct and indirect material. Even this one has got direct and indirect material. For it to be like that, it has its direct material that we can see with our physical eyes. But there are some that are not direct, they are indirect. For example, can you give an example of indirect material? Here we have said anything that is physically seen. Seen on a product. Indirect. Love? Yes, no problem. Glue. Glue, yes, it's part of the duster. But can we say it? We cannot. Therefore, we are saying anything that is in the product but cannot be seen as a product. Okay. Anything that is part of the product but cannot be seen as a product. So glue is an example when we're talking about desks, when we're talking about duster, when we're talking about so many things that have been glued together. So we go back to labor costs. So direct labor, what do you think are direct labor? We have talked about direct material. How about direct labor? What do you think can be direct labor? Austin? Justin, yes.
I think these are people that wait for.
We are talking about direct labor, okay? People working as. Band. What do you think can be direct labor? Good.
This is the most basic in the production rather than the administration and management.
James Baja. Timothy. Okay, good. Yes, Timothy. Yeah, it is what?
Which is the labor which is most raised in the production.
Directly to the production. Good. So in our book, they're telling us that in direct labor, they have said direct laborers, but we wanted to find direct labor, which means it's the same. Are those who work on a product directly, okay? Either manually or by using a machine. For example, we can think about, let's say, you have a knitting machine where you make sweaters. Those that are operating the machines, they're directly connected with the product. So these are the ones that we can say those are the costs that are going to be involved directly with the product. So direct labor is all labor that is directly involved in production of a finished product. Directly involved. And that can be easily traced on the product. We can give an example of, let's say, where we have a knitting machine operators, those that operate the knitting machine of making sweaters. We have, let's say, the assembly line, those that really put the products in line, that this is the first process, this second process. For example, bread. Other people make duff. Other, they make the shapes. Other, they take them into the oven. Others, they take them out. So all those are directly involved. And the costs that are there are direct costs, labor costs. Maybe any questions on direct labor costs? Linda? It's fine. Khadija? It's fine. Good. So these are some of the things that we as cost and management accountants have to know, that direct labor is just the same as the direct material, where we talked about direct material having prime costs. Is it? You remember the prime cost? You remember? I will ask you to this one exam. Prime cost, we learned in the first week of our class. We said these are direct what? Material. Isn't it? Direct labor. Is it? And direct what? This I will not mention. It's in our book, man. And we learned. When we were learning about product cost, we had learned about prime costs. The other one, we said what? Overheads. You remember? Overheads that included what? All the, come again? Good, Ben. Indirect material, indirect labor, indirect expense. So we have one for the material, that's expense. Then two, we have what? Overheads. When we're talking about the cost, overheads. Then three, we said what? Come again? Periodic costs. These are periodic, they can be there or they cannot. Okay? So this is what they are saying in the book, as I've said that, come again? As I've said that they also are called prime costs. Okay? They are also prime costs. If we are saying the labor that are involved directly to the production line. So they are also called prime costs. Then we have the indirect labor. What do you think can be the indirect labor? Indirect labor? Indirect labor? If we said that Loveness talked about glue being something that is indirect on a material for the duster. How about indirect labor? What do you think can be indirect labor? Good. Yes, something that you cannot trace. Is it for this or it's not? Okay? You cannot, but it's part of it, but you cannot trace. For example, glue on material was part of the duster, is part of the duster, but you cannot trace it. So this is exactly what it is. So when we're talking about indirect labor, we're talking about that that cannot or is not indirectly is indirectly related. It's not directly related, but it's indirectly related to a product. Examples of such that we can think about are designers. Designers. We are talking about, let's say, somebody designing a t-shirt that you are wearing or any dress that you are wearing. Designer is not part of somebody who's going to make a dress, is it? No, it's not. A designer is somebody that made the design, but people went and said, oh, can I have maybe that pattern? Then the tailor is given, then he takes it and he uses it when he is cutting what we are wearing. So a designer is not even part of the labor cost, but he is also very important in connection of labor. Again, we have supervisors. We have supervisors. People that go and see what are they doing. Are they working or are they not? They do part of the work, but they are not part of them. So these are some of the things that we can think about. Even inspectors that go and inspect, are they doing the thing that we wanted? All those are in the indirect labor when we're talking about labor costs. Now we have to go to accounting for labor. Accounting for labor. We have talked about direct and indirect labor, and now we want to see how they account for labor. Accounting for labor. Accounting for labor. Always when we are talking about labor, we talk about manufacturers, okay? Manufacturing companies. So we want to know how are these, the accounting made. These accounting for labor, mainly by manufacturers, usually involve three activities. They involve three activities. One, timekeeping. One, timekeeping. One, timekeeping. Two, we have computation of total payroll. Computation of total payroll. Three, We also have to talk about the allocation of payroll costs. Allocation of payroll costs. Timekeeping. This you have already heard or you have ever seen, is it? Where have you seen, Linda? Timekeeping? Good. Yes, in workplaces, schools. How are they done? Anybody? Linda has said, in workplaces, schools. Timekeeping, how is it done? Okay, a schedule. Austin? Justin? Timothy? Timekeeping, you have never heard or seen?
I've seen it before.
Come again?
I've seen it before.
Yes.
But my answer is like
At the bank, they will say, when you're entering a door, you press your finger, the door is open. That's timekeeping. They will know that Timothy came in to start work when it was 7:45. And yet, the time that he was supposed to be in is 7:30. You press your finger on the door and the door is open. Sometimes they can make a schedule, as you have said, that when coming, you're supposed to write, when were you in? Okay. What time? Okay. We can also think about what Benja is doing is a timekeeper, isn't it? Yes, they want to see us. Are we really learning? Or do we really come for the number of hours that we're supposed to learn? So timekeeping is whereby you see whether that particular or that individual is really coming at the right time and is doing what he's supposed to be doing. So timekeeping is something that is very important in manufacturing companies where there is a section in personnel department whose function is to see the workers, whether they are really doing or they are coming at the right time. So we have two things that we should think about when we're talking about timekeeping. We have a time card. We have a time card and a job ticket. So in personnel department, when they are doing that, as I've already told you, when they are pressing the door, they are coming in for work, it means the timekeeper is at personnel department to say, yes, Banda has come at 7:30 according to the schedule of the organization. Okay? So when he's going out for break, he's also going to do the same, and it's going to show that Banda has gone out for break for this number of minutes. If you come late, it's going to record to say, yes, he came late. So these are some of the things, and they have the time card as well as the job ticket. They can have a ticket where they record, or they can have a time card where they record each and every recording that is supposed to be recorded. So you are going to be paid based on how many hours you were on job. If you went for break more than 10 minutes, if the scheduled time is 10 minutes, it means they are going to deduct from what? Your pay. So this is very important when we are talking about labor costs. Musamatero, musamabwere kuno kuti walira haleluya mpingo. Zigumzazungu. Zazungu. This is introduction to costs. Sincerely. Sono ndiye kuti mawa mkuti tizapereke sport sakuti uze akumbusa lero nchandete ndiye mkucha, but in a mawa I think I will leave because mkucha I'm not coming. I don't come. Ungo sign a signature yako. Thank you so much, Benja. So we are saying time card, or sometimes it can be a clock card. Time card can also sometimes be called a clock card. Clock card. Sometimes it can be known as that. So a clock card sometimes is inserted. Yeah. Okay. Sometimes they put in something, then the door opens, is it? Yes, those are some of the things that they use when, let's say, arriving, going to lunch, taking break, for even leaving for the day. Okay, so those are the time card that they use when they are coming in, going for break, going for lunch, even when they're leaving for leaving the day. So this is very important to us because we have to know how they account for the labor. How do personnel account for labor in connection of timekeeping? They use the clock card or time card or job ticket, is it? For anybody to be paid, they will see how many hours that particular has he worked by looking to the break time, the lunch time for this person, the coming in and the going out for him to work. So this is very important to us because we are also involved when we are talking about the calculations are for us, but the timing and the recording is done by the personnel. The labor job ticket. The labor job ticket. This is prepared by employees for each job worked on. That's the same as we have already said that there are recordings of number of hours worked. So that's that. While the clock card is you insert, you press a finger and so on. But the labor job ticket is where you write down. Okay? Yes. So we have the computation of the total payroll. Computation. What is to compute? Calculate. Computation of payroll. Sometimes I do ask simple things like those. Can you please, in short notes, can you please explain to me what is timekeeping, computation of payroll, and allocation of payroll? Sometimes I do ask. So computation of payroll. A payroll department's primary function is to compute total payroll, including gross amount and the net amount payable to employees after deductions of pay as you earn, medical and pension contributions, also advances for staff and loans, So the pay department distributes the payroll and maintains records for employees' earnings, wage rate, and job classification. Let's just see a small example on how computation can be made. Computation of payroll. We're talking about labor accounting.